Hi, everybody. My name is Ubaldo Hernandez, and I've been a member of this community for 28 years. I came to this country and this community when I was 24 years old, a long time ago. And a few weeks ago, I got an email, an invitation to talk at this event. And it's Martin Luther King Day, and I thought, what Martin Luther King had a dream, y empecé a soñar. I started dreaming that our voices will not be condemned because we speak out of time, because we speak out and loud, because we conform the other side. I dream about that. And I dream that our voices will be heard eventually. And I thought about Martin Luther King. And I learned about that, about him, but also I learned about that Martin Luther King was born on January 15 in 1929, and 93 years ago. And Martin Luther King was really an important voice for civil rights. But civil rights was not his only advocacy he did through his life. He fought against poverty. He fought with poor people. He fought for people to have the right to exist, to have the right of healthcare, to have the right of having a healthy meal on their tables 3 times on a day. He fought because he believed everybody has a dignified home, a healthy home, because we all need homes to live and be safe and take care of our families, feel welcome and together, to have a warm space where we can have conversations. We can talk amongst each other and talk about the issues that makes us unhappy and the issues that makes us happy. And that's one of the main issues that I see this fight with Martin Luther King. And on this day, all of those issues is still relevant to us today. We're still fighting for a healthy community. We're still fighting for healthcare, housing. We're still fighting against poverty. We're still fighting against oppression. In this community and this state, last year, finally, after almost about 100 years, the legislation voted in favor to pay overtime to farm workers. But it took almost 100 years to get there, to bring justice. And there is a lot of issues that are still relevant for our communities. So every day, people wakes up and start preparing to go through their day, thinking about how they're going to feed their family. If their kids are going to have food to go to school and have enough energy to pay attention and be successful. Every day, people leave and join their work places, knowing that somebody will get fired because some injustice will happen that day. Some people will be fired because they didn't speak English, because they spoke Spanish in an appropriate time according to their work regulations. So all these injustices happen every day, and we're still dealing with that through our lives as immigrant communities. And so one of the things that makes me think about Martin Luther King, and it's about one really important event on his life when he received the Nobel Prize. And one of the things that makes me think about that is that when he received the Nobel Prize, he received it knowing that Back in his community, people was still being murdered, segregated, and suffering because of racial discrimination, racism. But he believed in peace, and peace is an important part of our movement. We cannot have a real social change if we promote wars. Wars are not good for anything. Wars create anger, division in our families. And I thought about a conversation I had with a friend of mine, a Salvadorian guy. And we were talking about the hard times he had back in El Salvador on the 70s, 80s, when the Civil War was happening. And he said, Civil War is one of the worst things that can happen to a community. Because at that time, there was brothers, uncles, cousins, nephews were fighting among each other. And those wounds hasn't been healed till these days. So for us, and listening to Martin Luther King and promoting movements where peace is the main part, peace is the stronghold of this movement. So what we want change, but we want change with peace. We want change raising our voices, raising our arms, but we don't want peace or change raising our arms. A lot of times I read about Martin Luther King, but not just their speeches. I like to read quotes, because quotes are those parts that become some kind of instructions to action, something that makes you go through the day when you read a quote and makes you think about that you can make the difference and encourage people to do that. Some of those quotes are things like something that Martin Luther King said, what is worry is not the perversity of the evil, of the evil people. What it worries is the indifference of the good people. The problem is not the bad actions, it's the inaction that came from our communities when we close an eye or when we turn around and ignore the situation. There is always the right time to do the right thing. We can always do the right thing at the right time. There is always the right time. There is never a bad time to do the right thing. So one of the things that I want to finish this reflection is with this quote that he said. If I'll know the world is going to end today, I will still plant a tree. Thank you.